Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. This is the review of the Southampton game, of course, which ended 1-1. I'm joined here today by a Southampton fan, Matt, and then Wayne and Ed back again after their fantastic appearances on Monday night. So first things first, let's come to you first, Wayne, on this one today. Arsenal at the moment, what did you make of that game?
I thought we played better, especially in the second half. We stepped it up a little bit. But again, it's Theo's goal, man. No one closed him down. And this is the problem we're having. No one, whenever players are running at our defence, no one's going towards them or closing them down. It's the same as we said the other week with the Son goal and all the other goals. No one's closing these players down. The lineup was okay, but my only thing with that was why is Cedric still not starting? He's a proper right back.
Yeah, I didn't understand that as well when I was looking at it, and of course we had Maitland-Niles there as well, who did come in at right back. Yeah.
Again, Niles really isn't a right back. He's never been a right back. All right, he's a versatile player, but he prefers to play in the midfield. And you see it when he does play in the midfield. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
When he plays in that midfield role. But Cedric, I don't understand it, man. There's something. Arteta, again, he was Arteta's signing. Is he saying that he don't trust him in that position?
That's it. And when he's come in there, he's done a good job as well. The Europa League game, he was played against Dundalk and he played really well.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you tomorrow, Bellerin will start.
Yeah, now that he's back from his ban, yeah.
Which is just ridiculous.
I'm sure he will.
And yeah.
I'm going to get going. Make sure that bathroom door stays open.
And
yeah. I'll text you.
I think Cedric, man, I think just give him a chance. Just give him 1 or 2 games and see how he does.
Absolutely, yeah. And what about you, Ed? Do you agree with that as well? Of course, with the whole Cedric, he was on the bench, wasn't he? But he really, when Bellerin's not available, and even ahead of Bellerin, he should be starting anyway.
Yeah, like. From what I could see of the game, we were playing a 3 at the back as well.
Yeah, we're Tierney. Yeah.
Which, if you're going to play 3 at the back, you want 3 centre halves. You don't want a left back and 2 centre back. He had the ability to play a 4-4-2 easily, especially with Cedric. He did, even with Maitland-Niles not started, he could have played Cedric and Tierney and then Gabriel and Holding. And I think if we'd have played a 4 at the back, Gabriel wouldn't have been sent off. Because the only reason he made that challenge to get himself sent off is because he was too scared because he didn't think he had enough cover at the back.
Yeah.
What is it with us getting sent like players sent off lately?
Discipline.
Discipline is poor, really poor.
I'll tell you what, Arteta is breaking all kinds of records left, right and centre.
Yeah, not all good though, are they?
Most of them aren't. Most of them have bad
ones. Not good records, but he's still breaking them.
Mm-hmm.
He's still breaking records. And personally, tomorrow, I don't think we're going to win. I really don't. As I said to you, every game we go into, I'm not confident. I'm not at all. And just from our performances, and again, it seems like when we do step it up, we step it up when it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not confident that we're going to get a result. So I'll settle for a draw, but I ain't confident we're going to win. And then the next game after that is Chelsea, which is, great.
I know, yeah. We were just saying there off stream, me and Ed as well, I think before you joined actually, and this is where I'll bring you in, Matt, as well, that it was inevitable that Theo Walcott was going to score against Arsenal, just as it's inevitable that Iwobi, Giroud and Danny Welbeck will as well. So, was that something that you guys thought for Southampton as well?
I wonder what sort of odds you'd get on that. Those 3 scoring.
I might do it tomorrow.
He needs to sort his hair out.
Yeah. But no, of course, from a Southampton perspective, you went 1-0 up and, of course, you were flying. You were, top of the league, I think, at that point?
Yeah, I think we were. We were never going to stay top of the league because Spurs and Liverpool obviously had to play each other and they couldn't both lose. So we were never going to be top of the league at the end. One thing I thought, you've just touched on, the challenge by Gabriel, I completely agree with that. There was absolutely no cover whatsoever. And it was it 1-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a back. It was a back. I'd say it was like a back 2 or something like that. But there was a couple of occasions where we got free 2-on-2. That didn't really manifest itself into a chance as such, and therefore didn't really get on the highlight reels as such. But I thought we looked like we could catch Arsenal out on the break a couple of times that way, and I think Gabriel knew exactly what he was doing, and unfortunately he had to do it because otherwise Theo was going to square, or rather play it through to whoever was running in behind. I think it was Shea Adams, and it was probably going to end up 2-0.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That would worry me as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
I will say that when we went down to 10 men, that is the first time that I've actually seen them in a long time pull together as a team and just say, right, we got to defend for our lives here. And that is some of the best defending that I've seen Arsenal in a long time. So I will give them credit on that sense. But why are our fans celebrating a draw against Southampton?
That's it, yeah.
I
And it
don't
goes back to what you said on Monday night.
As a Southampton fan, looking at that, playing Arsenal, I would probably be peed off because I'd probably be thinking we could have won that game.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
my point is that it's happening too much now. Teams are looking at us and going, we could have won that easily.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you said on Monday night as well, Wayne, about Burnley coming to the Emirates and beating us and turning us over there. And you said that not to disrespect clubs like Burnley and Southampton, but Arsenal should be beating clubs like that, and on paper they would be. Yeah,
at home we should be beating them teams. Now we all know over the years when we go to places like St Mary's, places like Turf Moor, they're very difficult places to go to and get a result.
Yeah,
places like Stoke.
And Southampton away has always been one of our bogey sides.
Oh, always. For sure.
Like Derby used to be years ago. They always at Pride Park. They always used to be a bogey side for us.
Yeah,
but at home we should be beating them.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And this, again, I will say it's no disrespect to them clubs because Southampton are playing brilliant at the moment, and it's the best I've seen them play in years. But at home, with the lineup, with the teams and the players that we got, we should be beating them. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it.
I would feel exactly the same as an Arsenal fan. As a Southampton fan, I always like to try and take the positives. So I guess what you might call a bit of a happy clapper. So I do think it was a good point from the Emirates, but you're quite right. About 50%, I would say, of our fan base were actually quite annoyed after the game that we didn't go on and win it.
Yeah.
And this is the problem we're having. Even when we're drawing games, even at Leeds, their fans were paid off that they got a 0-0 draw. We were happy about it.
Exactly. We spoke to, I don't know if you spoke to Russ as well, but I spoke to Russ, and I could see Russ's reaction to that. Yeah, and he was, as you said.
That's what I'm saying, and it's happening too much. And as I said, as a Southampton fan looking on that game, I'll be thinking these are there for the taking. We could win it tonight.
Yeah.
I quite like looking on like Ladbrokes and places like that. Do you know, going into, I think it was 80 minutes, what the odds were on an Arsenal win with 10 minutes left? It was 22-1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If this was this time last season, you could be looking at decent odds.
Yeah. But even 22-1,
we're in a good position.
Yeah, but even 22-1, we nearly won it with Rob's header at the end.
Yeah, so I think that goes to show the lack of confidence that the general public have got in Arsenal at the moment.
And Arsenal as well.
It was only 1-1, like you quite rightly say. Arsenal could have still nicked it from a set piece. It wouldn't have been front page news or anything like that, but still 22-1 for Arsenal to beat Southampton at home.
There's no confidence at Arsenal at the moment. And do you know, when me and Ed were talking about it the other week about them going on social media, did you see that thing in the week about them sitting in the at the Emirates Stadium talking about £1 for the coffee machine?
No, what was that?
Oh, go on Facebook and have a look at it. It's on the Arsenal thing there, and there's Lacazette. Who else is there? I think.
I
saw that because they're sponsored by Lavezza, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're sitting there. Lacazette's sitting there with an umbrella. They just lost to Burnley 1-0 at home. 2 days later, they're all sitting there, smiles, talking about coffee machine prices.
Yeah.
It's starting to pee me off. It's starting to pee everyone off because How much are they? I mean, let's compare.
You're
it, right?
primarily there to play football. You're not there to be
Yeah.
a model, like Bellerin
Yeah.
being a model and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. You are a footballer, and if you
Let's-
don't play well, you train more.
Let's compare it, right? How much is the top player on at Southampton?
I think. Well, I don't know. I read the other week that Danny Ings was close to signing a new contract, which would have been about 90 grand a week.
Right, and our players are on 150, 200. And
Well, 350k and sitting playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Do you see any other club really doing the model side of things than us?
No.
I don't see any other club that players are on lower wages. Like, I don't see Burnley players. I don't see Southampton players. I'm not privy to their social media. They might do. I don't know. But from what I can see, I don't see other clubs coming out, their players posting things on social media, doing kits and like new designers coming out.
How many kits and training jackets have we had this season? We've had more this season than we've had in the last 10 years.
We've had more this season. We've had wins.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, and they wonder why we're not performing on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because of these things, these distractions. And back in the day, and as we were saying the other night, even 10 years ago when it was the Invincibles, you never saw any of this. They would do the kit launch once and that would be it. That would be the end of it. You never hear about it.
And they all came out at the same time.
Yeah, and you would never hear about it again until the following season, until the new kit come out. It's ridiculous. And I'm sitting there and thinking, I'm all for promotion and everything else, and companies trying to do better and things like that. But when you're losing at home to teams that you should be beating, or drawing to teams that you should be beating,
priorities.
I will start asking the questions. Why are we doing this when we need to focus on the football?
Yeah, for sure.
So, to me, that's kind of like, that's just stabbing the knife in, really, and saying, oh, well, we lost to Burnley, but we'll get our money's worth today because we're just sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah,
promoting a
coffee or promoting games or whatever. Like,
One thing if I could just say about Arsenal on Wednesday night, I've actually seen Arsenal against us play technically worse. I don't know if you remember a game on Boxing Day about 3 or 4 years ago when we beat you 4-0 at St Mary's.
I forget that.
I remember that.
And that was probably the worst Arsenal performance I've ever seen. The one on Wednesday night was probably the most, or rather the least confident Arsenal performance, because technically you weren't actually that bad. And I was saying on Wednesday night, I didn't sense a conscious lack of effort or a lack of commitment as such. I just sensed a team that were just really, really low on confidence and maybe had direction, but would just really, really subdue, I guess, I don't know what the word is, about applying that to their game.
I think it's that being afraid, isn't it?
You can't say
afraid to lose.
It's all right.
Sorry?
It's that being afraid to lose.
Rubbish, it's all right.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think it's that rubbish. When you got on the ball and there were these runs being made forward, I thought for long periods of the game, Arsenal looked like, when you got into our third, you looked like scoring. I think more so than when we got into your third. But
there was times. We had moments. Yeah, we did have
how
moments.
often did you actually get into
I mean, hopefully Aubameyang scoring will give him confidence that he needs to go on now, because he started to come out a bit more
sad. Yeah,
he looked
really sad.
Yeah, he looked a bit happier when he scored, and he looked a bit more smiley in training the other day. Hopefully, I think something's gone on personally with him.
Okay.
And because I can't see any other reason why he's just all of a sudden dipped this much in form and he's not looking happy at the club.
But he works hard though. You can see even in the Burnley games before, he works his arse off.
Yeah, either he's peed off because the players ain't performing the way he wants them to, or but then as a captain, it's his job to get him to play. He's got to motivate them.
That's what I don't see. That's the one thing I don't see.
He's captain of that club, so he needs to motivate him. Again, it goes back to my point. From the other week, would you ever see a Vieira, even if he was down and the players are playing crap, he would grab all of them up in the... You heard rumours of how he used to put players up in the changing room.
But not just Vieira as the captain. You would hear, I can imagine all the players doing that. I can imagine the likes of Sol Campbell and Lee Dixon, who weren't maybe not captain, but they still wouldn't allow it.
No,
No,
Yes,
totally.
I purposely didn't watch the game with the crowd noise.
Okay.
I watched it without. I do it
Yeah.
every so often. It's been nice since lockdown. One of the benefits, you could say, of the lockdown and no fans in the stadium is you get to hear a lot.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
play the crowd noise. Now, there wasn't that much talking.
No.
There was no communication.
No.
And I think I've got one of my friends that does our stream as well. He is a photographer. He's a sports photographer. And he was at the Arsenal-Burnley game.
Right.
Was it Burnley game? Because that was the last one we could have fans at.
Yeah.
He was there, and he said Aubameyang just looked. He goes, he looked like a broken man. He looked like whatever he tried wasn't going to pay off, and he looked like he'd just come to the end of his tether. And because of that, he's not talking. He's supposed to be the captain. He's the one that should be theoretically grabbing players by the scruff of the neck and going, right, sort yourself out, get yourself back. We've got to play. We've got to win this game, and we're not going to do anything less than win. But you don't. And I didn't hear proper shouting. The only person the only person I really heard was Rob Holding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, with Aubameyang, like I said, I do starting to believe now that it is personal with him, because he's actually come out on social media and said the last couple of days he didn't say anything after the Spurs defeat, and he come out and posted up the other day about it, and he posted up about the Burnley defeat as well, and about Southampton. So I think now he's going back to his old self. He looks a bit more. So hopefully that goal will give him confidence to go on again now. But I do think that it's something personal that's happened with him, and he isn't sharing it because he is quite a private guy as well.
Of course he is. Yeah.
You know, he don't he does post things on social media, but it's mainly when he's with the club and the team. But he's quite private about his personal life. So
What I do want to say about not about Aubameyang as such, but about that sort of thing really is Granit Xhaka's let the side down on Sunday night, right?
Still nothing.
Still nothing now. Gabriel, he let the side down against Southampton by getting the red card. About 20 minutes later, there's an apology from him on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's the making of a man.
I will say, Arteta didn't apologise. Gabriel came out and apologised.
Yeah.
But Gabriel, this is why I kind of can forgive him for the red card, because whereas Pepe and Xhaka's were just stupidity, they should not have done what they did. Pepe headbutted a guy, and Xhaka grabbed hold of a guy's throat. Gabriel was just an unlucky challenge.
It was a necessity, wasn't it?
It was a professional foul.
I think he knew exactly what he was doing. And as harsh as it is, if a Saints player had done that, I'd be annoyed if he hadn't done that, to be honest.
Especially with the pace that you've got. If he hadn't have done what he did, like you said, it'd have been through, whether it had been Walcott or Shea Adams, it would have been another goal.
It's just unlucky. It's just unlucky that the way he fouled the guy, obviously he got sent off. And those tackles happen in football. You see it every week. And sometimes you get a yellow, sometimes you get a red. It's unlucky. But the
one thing I will say about that as well is it goes back to obviously that was a yellow card because he wasn't the last man or anything like that. But the first yellow card was stupid. I think he was simulation.
And I think that comes with experience, and I think that we all know we've all seen it. Players they waste time. It's part of the game, and the famous one when you saw Jens Lehmann when he jumped over the hoardings to get the ball and he threw it, but he made sure it hit the hoarding, so then it bounced away again, so he could go and get it again.
Crazy Jens.
Yeah, if you're gonna waste time, be clever.
Yeah.
And all players do it. It's part and parcel of the game. But that comes with experience and it comes with growing up. He's still a young lad, but he then showed how grown up he was by coming out and going, I'll put my hands up. I messed up. But Xhaka, it's been nearly a week now. Now,
I don't think there was anything. I don't think there was anything from Pepe either, and it's still even to the day.
Pepe did come out and apologise.
And Arteta condemned him. Arteta said nothing about Xhaka. Xhaka's not said anything. Now, if Xhaka comes straight back in the team, or there's nothing said by Arteta,
it's favouritism.
Arteta has to be questioned on his consistency of of punishments.
Yeah.
Because
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, for sure.
What exactly is Arteta's credentials, I guess? Because there was all this excitement about him becoming the Arsenal manager, and I think he'd been linked with other top jobs as well. But
There
this
was
is
no
this his
excitement.
first management job,
yep,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I think
Yeah.
he'd been assistant to Pep.
Pep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was it. And I to this day I can't figure out why there was such. I'm not saying he's a bad manager because I don't know well enough.
I think
to
he
say
came
that,
in saying the
Nobody
right
really
things.
knows. Yeah.
He came in
He
saying the right
came-
things, that he's going to sort
Yeah.
out the bad stock. He's going to put people in their place. If they don't like what he's asking them to do, they can see the door. And yeah, to an extent, he did that. Look at what he did to Guendouzi. Guendouzi had a number. He grabbed someone by the throat. Then he had a fight, and then he was back chatting. And Arteta said, "You know what? I don't need you. Bye."
Yeah, but he hasn't really done it though. He's done it with Guendouzi, but he's given Bellerin a new deal. He's
Exactly.
given David Luiz a new deal. He's kept Mustafi there.
And this is why I'm starting to question it.
situation with Ozil and Socrates,
Can I just say, right?
unregistered. Yeah, go on, man.
I don't think there was much excitement of Arteta coming in. When I personally believe that Arteta was a panic
Cheap
buy.
option.
It was a cheap option. We went in for Mourinho, and Mourinho's even come out himself and said that he didn't go to Arsenal because the board wouldn't back him with the funds that he needed to buy the players and do a complete squad overhaul. Now, I can guarantee you, if we would have signed Mourinho or Pochettino or someone else, and the board gave him the funds, Bellerin wouldn't be there, Luiz wouldn't be there, Xhaka wouldn't be there, Willian wouldn't be there.
No.
Yeah.
There's probably about 7 or 8 players that would be out the door.
And you know where we'd be as well? We'd be right up towards the top end of the table.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I still believe that as much as Arteta came in, Mike knows I didn't want him at the start because of he's not experienced enough. I said he needs to go to another club and manage for a couple of years, get the experience, and then maybe in 5-10 years' time you go, try him out at Arsenal, see what he can do.
I said it on Monday night. He had to go down the route of what Solskjaer did, starting out somewhere else and then going to United.
Exactly.
What Frank's done, what Wayne Rooney's doing, what Steven Gerrard's doing. There's endless names. Yeah.
And
would he have got the job if he wasn't an ex-Arsenal player?
No,
Probably not.
No. I
think it's because he's an ex-Arsenal captain and he did a good job when he was captain.
I can see why they gave him the job, because they want to implement the culture of the Invincible era.
Yeah.
Of you need to work for this club. If you're not giving 100%, you're out the door. But how can you say that when you got players like Bellerin and Xhaka that ain't giving 100% and they're still at the club and getting rewarded with new contracts? It doesn't make sense. They're contradicting themselves on what they say and do. With Arteta, I'm not going to blame it all on Arteta because I do still believe a lot of it, 90% of it is the board.
Yeah, agreed.
But I want him to do well. I do. But I just don't think he's the man to take us forward. I really don't at this time, and results are proving that.
But that's what I mean. Though. What is Arteta's tactical prowess? Like, why is he there?
No one knows. He doesn't know himself.
He doesn't know himself. Yeah, no one knows. And
it's that lack of consistency. Like I said on Monday, I said there's no consistency in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
There's no consistency in tactics. If I said to you right now, who's our starting 11, I can guarantee no Arsenal fan could tell you. But if I said the Invincibles 2004, I can guarantee.
We're playing tomorrow, and I can tell you exactly what our starting 11 is going to be.
Yeah,
because it'll be the one that you played on
the last 10 games.
Yeah, it was the same one you played 2 days ago.
Yeah,
you say that no one will know that our starting 11, but like I said to you the other night, I can guarantee I'll name 3 players that would start:
Luiz, Bellerin, and Willian,
and Xhaka if he weren't suspended, or 4 players that would start every week in, week out. And it's starting to irritate a lot of Arsenal fans now. I don't ever want to see Xhaka in an Arsenal shirt again.
Same. I didn't after the first
time, and I don't want to see him in an Arsenal.
I didn't after the first time, and he come back and he sort of started to win us over a bit, but we knew what he had, sort of about him and in him.
Bellerin needs to go down the gym and start working out more. And
No,
he needs
Bellerin needs to drop down a few divisions and go and play for Forest Green, not just support them.
He needs to learn how to take a throw before he can play football.
Yeah.
And Willian, I just believe, is the biggest flop at the club ever.
Oh, what a waste of a signing.
Where's his form from last season at Chelsea?
I know.
Yeah.
Where's Bellerin's form from the FA Cup final and go just before lockdown happened? Bellerin was playing really well.
He was.
Because it's that lack of competition. It's that it's like they know they're going to get in the squad, so it's like, well, I don't really have to bother. That's the thing. If there was competition, like if you put Cedric and even at a push, I know I don't like to put in there Maitland-Niles and say, right, these are your competition. Whoever I see is best in training this week will be playing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But he obviously doesn't do that. He's obviously got his favourites. He does. And it can come out and go, no, he hasn't. I haven't got favourites. I go on their footballing merit. Doesn't look like that.
No, he's got.
You don't just go by training. You go by previous games. Because I can stand there and kick a load of balls into an empty net for 45 minutes.
Anyone can. Yeah, anyone can.
Yeah. I do believe that he has got his favourites. I've said that from day one. And it's clearly obvious that his four favourites are Willian, Bellerin, Xhaka, and David Luiz. Yeah. They're his four favourites that he at the club. Whether it's because they're out of that whole team, they're probably on the more wages. I don't know. So he's thinking, well, while they're here, I've got to use it. But then why not use Ozil?
Yeah, true. Exactly that. And
every point at Arsenal, everything that's going on, there's always a point or an argument you can make against what is happening. I don't see that at any other club.
No, I agree as well. And I think what I will say is what we were talking about before, Ed, on the sort of pre-chat as well, really, where the whole thing with Willian and David Luiz now coming out saying about that, they don't want Arteta there as manager. And I don't know whether there was anything in that for you, but Bellerin was suspended, Xhaka was suspended. William was dropped down to the bench. David Luiz was on the bench. I wonder, if he did that out of, if he started those players, William and David Luiz, getting some sort of backlash, maybe.
I think they've been proven to be troublemakers.
Yeah.
Together, they own a business together.
Yeah.
So they're very close, and the fact that they've been instrumental in two different managers, Conte and Jose, both being sacked, not them walking out, being sacked from a club, you have to kind of question what their motives are. Why? If it was the first time, if they've seen, we don't get on with Arteta, if this was the first time, you could think, okay, there's a bit of a rift, there's a bit of a difference in opinion. You could go with that. But the fact that they've got form, they've got a track record, they're in business together.
Yeah, the restaurant business that they do. Yeah.
They're very good.
So, Mike, sorry, guys, I'll be back on in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like they've got a business together. They're best mates, and they're responsible for two other managers losing their job.
Yeah.
Well, instrumental in having a say, because obviously it wasn't just them that got Mourinho and Conte sacked.
No.
But obviously it was a factor. And this isn't the first time David Luiz has had an incident at the club. No,
it's not. Yeah.
He's had incidents with players as well, and it's kind of, he's supposed to be a grown-up. He's supposed to be one of the oldest in the team, and he should be setting an example. So it just makes you think, could these be the people that are leaking information? Like, who didn't take a pay cut and causing those rifts and potentially causing that divide in the team?
That's it, yeah, for sure. And you have to, go to Theo Walcott's comments potentially as well. And, what he said after the game on Wednesday night after scoring against us. What did you make of those comments? And, Matt, what did you make of those comments?
I've seen the comments.
Perspective as well. Did you see them, Ed? Do you know what they?
I haven't seen them.
He's very right in his answers. To be honest,
what did he say? Because this is kind of the first I'm hearing of it.
I've heard a few. You'll probably know more, Mike. I'll let you.
Yeah. It was basically about what was the main comments now? I'll have to research it again and find out what the main one that he said was. It was basically about like the.
While you're doing that, one thing I will throw my 2 cents in on is you mentioned him earlier, Cedric.
Yeah.
Who we know quite a lot about. We had him for several years. Honestly, I don't think he's a particularly good player.
No?
No, and I don't say that lightly. He seems like a really nice guy and everything. But I was just watching him he was a poor man's Nathaniel Klein, and Klein didn't set the world alight himself. But I've never been a Cedric fan at all. For me, the only thing he's got going for him is the fact that he isn't slow. You know, he's not particularly quick, but he's also not slow. For me, he can't tackle. When a ball comes into the box, he's out jumped by the smallest player on the pitch. He can't cross, he can't shoot. And by the time I know I feel bad saying it, like I said, because he seems a really nice guy, but
he scored for Arsenal on his debut. Actually, I think he come on and scored, and we won 4-0 or something against Norwich. And
he scored against Pompey for us, so we kind of give him a pass. But yeah, I was just trying to work out by the end of his time at Saints, like what aspect of being a fullback is he actually good at?
Yeah, the thing is, he's a predominantly right-sided player. He can play right mid and right back.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
He's the right side of midfielder. Defender.
He would be. If you're going to play 3 at the back with wing backs, he's the ideal person to have as a wing back.
Yeah,
he's fast enough.
Yeah.
And there's a bit about him, but
if you are going to play 3 at the back and you've got that extra man covering, then I can kind of see that.
But the Walcott one, the comments were he basically come out and he said that he felt a lot of fear in Arsenal. Yeah.
And he said it looks like history repeating itself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, he's right. I can see the same fear that we had around about 2010, 2011, when we were getting desperate for some sort of silverware because it had been like 5, 6, 7 years. And it was a very frail side. We had some shocking players at that time.
Oh, we did. Dreadful.
Oh,
We had players like Bentner and Shamak.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah.
But they were still getting in Champions League football. So, I can see it again. I think because, like Wayne says, it starts from the top.
Yeah.
We've got no leadership from the top. Like, there's talk now that Edu's going to get the chop.
Yeah, I know.
What?
And did you
2 weeks before 2 weeks before the transfer window opens?
Yeah. Did you see his reaction as well when they panned in on him? That was definitely for the camera, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, massively.
I've got a question for you both.
Go on. Yeah.
So tomorrow morning, Arteta's sacked. Hypothetically, you approach Pochettino and he says no. Who's your next pick?
We all know everyone's going to say Allegri.
No, not Allegri for me. And Allegri wouldn't even be my first choice ahead of Pochettino. My first choice would be the same first choice as it was before Arteta come in, Rafa Benitez.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout.
Yeah.
You need someone to play the same style of football like a Rafa Benitez, that kind of nice-looking football, but gets the job done.
That's it.
And Allegri's not like that. Allegri's he's very Italian football. Bang a goal in, park the bus. And that's not Arsenal.
No,
that isn't Arsenal. Do you know what? At the moment, I'd take a 1-0 win with. I'd take a Tottenham style play at the moment. Bang a goal in, sit back, and just hope for the best and hope we don't concede. I don't like that. I've grown up, like, bearing in mind, I'm nearly in my mid-30s. I've seen the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry playing for my club.
Oh, me too. The likes of those two, and Freddie Ljungberg, Bobby Pires. Yeah.
And I know you can. It's all that kind of looking at it through rose-tinted specs and going, "Oh, the glory days." Yeah. But we've always played nice football.
Yeah, exactly.
We've always played, even back in the days with Charlie George. If you watch that 71 Cup final, we still played lovely football, even for the 70s. So
we had a really good little team back then as well. And even going back to the 80s and stuff, when we had the likes of Mickey Thomas around and Rocky and guys like that as well that I didn't actually see play, but when you see the highlights of them, you can see the kind of players that they are. They gave everything.
I mean,
And-
I was pretty relieved that you were in that mindset on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a part of me that was disappointed because I'm 29, I'm 30 next year. Well, I suppose I would be if I was 29. I grew up, right in the midst of the Arsene Wenger era, and right in the midst of the Invincibles, and even in that trophy drought, Arsenal was still playing some absolutely wonderful football. And do you remember, I think it was the goal that you guys scored against Norwich, I think, where you pinged it about
Jack
Wilshere that put it in. Yeah.
There's
And that's
about
one of my
30 touches.
favourite Premier League goals. I've always enjoyed watching Arsenal play as a neutral, but there was just nothing of that on Wednesday night, and it almost left me a bit deflated because I thought, 1-1 at home to Southampton. I thought you're going to come at us, and they're going to.
Yeah.
I think our best bet might catch them on the break, but there was nothing.
I was thinking while I was off air that me and Ed should start up a thing, back the beard until Arsenal wins. When they finally win, we'll shake beards.
Mate, don't.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm going to have a beard down to my knees at this rate.
You're not. Yeah.
Well, it is Christmas. It is Christmas next week. You'll be giving Santa a run for his money.
Yeah, and I've got grey hairs as well, so it's all good.
Yeah.
As long as you bring us a gift on Boxing Day, I don't care.
Yeah, win, mate.
Do you know what? Looking at that shirt, man, I couldn't get used to that shirt. I just don't like it.
I like it. Yeah, I do like it.
I'm in one of those two minds. Like, I wanted to get it just because I wanted to see what it looked like wearing it and look like in the flesh.
Yeah.
But it is still a bit. It doesn't look like marble. It looks like I've just been stabbed.
It looks like Freddy Krueger got you.
I like the crest on it.
The black and white crest is nice.
Yeah.
But I think that our blue one should be our away one, and that should be our third one in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing that's really annoying me as well about this whole thing. When we were playing in the blue kit at home.
And did we have Leno in the goalkeeper?
Leno in the white kit as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I understand it's money, but it's again like, let's stop faffing about with what kit we're going to wear. It's pretty much I bet they're sitting in the changing room and go, well, I'm wearing the white kit today, so which boot shall I wear? Because that will match my kit. And it's just put a shirt on and go out and win.
All this faffing about with kits and, like I said, the coffee thing and everything like that, it goes to show that the Cronkies just treat Arsenal as a business. They don't care.
Always have.
They don't care about results. As long as their business is thriving.
Stan doesn't care. Yeah, Stan doesn't care at all. Josh, slightly more so. But I think that's because he kind of has to. I think because Stan doesn't, I think Josh has kind of got that extra interest because he feels like the fans need to hear from somebody.
We had a great incident a few years ago where do you remember Victor Wanyama? Victor Wanyama. We'd won a big game or something, and we were riding high, similar to what we are now. We were about 4th in the league. A few hours later, he tweeted after the game. The best tweet I've ever seen in my life. You might have seen it on social media, but it just said, "I just had spaghetti. It was very nice, and I enjoyed it." And that was just so brilliant because of where we were in the league. We could just look at that sort of thing and just absolutely lap it up. Now, if he tweeted that when we were down in a relegation battle, we would just be, everything was going really well. So you don't mind that sort of thing.
And this is where Stan don't care, because was it last season or the season before where
they came out and made a massive statement, we're going to do big things.
Back in a sec.
And also he came out and said that he's just spent 300 mil on a ranch in America. Hang on a minute. How about putting some of that money back into the club, into your business that is failing miserably?
Well, only part of it, because the others are doing really well because he's taking the money out of us.
Well, that's true, he's taking the money out of us and pumping it into the Rams.
And that's where it comes back to. I think this is where our games and the way we play and the way we're looked at as a club, it's one of those things. It comes from the top, and
of course it does.
And I think where the Cronkies haven't been ruthless, and they've gone. Yeah, Arteta may have said the right things in the interview, and he might have looked upon that he's got the right.
I genuinely don't care what he says, right? until we're up there challenging for the title again, and I mean the title as well, not FA Cups and things like that. I don't want to hear that. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
But Mike, the thing is, as long as the Cronkies are in charge of Arsenal, we won't be challenging for the title
No,
for
I
a
know.
very, very long time.
No, I know.
Unless Stan, the only way I can see it,
If he throws 200 million at us.
Yeah, or
let the other guy buy him out next year. Yeah.
Or he hands it over to Josh.
Yeah.
Because Josh might, he sort of cares.
The thing is, though, it's not about who runs it. It's about how much they pump in. That's
true.
This is what it boils down to, and I think that's why. Yeah, Arteta may have said the right things, but it was the cheap option.
Yeah,
it was 100%. Because if you're gonna hire either a proven trophy winner, title winner, or what is essentially Pep's cone boy, which one's going to be cheaper?
You'll go for the cheap option, of course you will.
Exactly. Well, you would do if you're Kroenke. We've never gone.
Yeah, but if you're looking at that Arsenal era of the culture and you want to pump into like the hard work, the invincible era, and all of this, and say, we need someone that knows the culture, that's won titles, I would have rather have gone for Vieira.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're going to go for an ex-player, go for someone with a bit of managerial
He was actually Patrick Vieira was actually linked with our job times ago. Yeah, and I'd have been quite happy with that.
He done well in France, and even now, like he's available. So
he done all right in New York City as well, in America.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He done all right there. It's just he weren't given the funds there really to,
So getting him for Arsenal is the exact opposite of what we want. Not of what we want, but of what he would want. Then, yeah.
Obviously, in America, it's a lot to buy the players, and because obviously football ain't as big out there as it is over here. It's getting bigger, but I feel like out there, you got to do trade deals and things like that. With other clubs to
we've
trade.
We've got a really good Arsenal fan base over in America. Though plenty of
we've got a massive fan base over there, massive.
Yeah.
Especially where is it? New York. We got a massive fan base,
and in Colorado as well.
Colorado as well.
Because that's one of Kroenke's teams, isn't it? The Rapids.
Rapids, yeah.
Colorado Rapids. And from when I went to Florida a few years back, I remember walking around in my Arsenal shirt and just seeing loads of Arsenal fans out there.
Yeah, all over, yeah.
And it's crazy to think how many. But when you go to places like Florida, there's so many English that actually live out there.
There is, yeah.
So they've all come from sort of London way and down this way. And as we know, Stevenage is more. It's half and half. It always has been, hasn't it? It's either Arsenal or Tottenham. Because they're so close together, like they're so close to us. You're either Stevenage, Arsenal, or Tottenham. You're every now and again you might find the odd United or Chelsea fan, but you're either Arsenal or Spurs. Really, personally, thinking Stevenage. Most of the pubs that I've been to, well, all the pubs in Stevenage, I've always seen Arsenal and Spurs shirts. And
there is all the time.
And I think that's a lot. That's probably most of the case for a lot of the surrounding towns outside of London. It's all you're either Arsenal or Tottenham, or
Is Stevenage in London?
No, just Hertfordshire.
I thought it was Hertford. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes away from London.
Right. But to jump on the train to the Emirates is easy, isn't it? Like we do it. We've done it and stuff. So. It's a direct train, takes about 15, 20 minutes, and then just a walk to the stadium. Yeah.
You get off of Frisbee, and the stadium's literally right round the corner.
Yeah, it's just a walk down. Yeah.
So you think how many thousands of fans in Stevenage go to Arsenal every week?
Oh, plenty, mate. Yeah, loads and loads.
Probably about 20,000 at least.
Yeah.
Live in Stevenage that I can name. I can name a few that are season ticket holders. Like me and you that are members of the club, and like red members and that, and gold members and all that. There's so many people go from here, so it's the same. I guess probably places like Welling and Hatfield and all that as well.
Yeah, all across, and even up to where Ed is in Billericay as well. Be very similar. Yeah.
You're all the way out there, are you, Ed?
Yeah, saying that though, it's not that far on the train. It takes me probably 40 minutes.
Okay.
Because I'll go into Stratford and then I'll get the overground.
Yeah.
I
Barbara listening to-
remember going to Billericay years ago. I'm going back about 10 years ago now when Stephen has played them in the FA Trophy.
I was there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went up to Billericay. I remember going up there.
It's a nice
What a
little
love-
place. Really. It's
It's a lovely
right.
place.
Yeah. And so we'll get back to the game as well now and stuff. So because we play Everton tomorrow on the back of that yesterday. So first of all, what do you reckon to Aubameyang's confidence now? Do you reckon that goal with him a lot more, confident and a lot better?
So.
You'd hope
Yeah.
so. I'm
Yeah.
not confident, but you would hope so. And bearing in mind his first ever goal for Arsenal was against Everton.
It was, yeah.
It's
What I will say about that as well, though, the way that he finished that was definitely not the way that an out of form striker would have finished it.
no,
I thought it was a great finish.
it was a
Yeah,
lovely
but-
You know,
finish.
if you're going to concede a goal, it might as well be one
You
like
got
that.
to give props. You got to give props to Xhaka because he worked.
Mate,
He
Oh,
was
Xhaka,
brilliant
yeah.
creating that
Yeah.
goal. You know what I mean? He was on it, and I'll
how
tell
he
you
got
what.
through all those men, I do not know.
I
He got
know.
through about
That's
five.
what I love about Bukayo, though. I think Bukayo is
There's
very.
about five players he skinned, weren't it, before he
And
knocked
they
it
were all
on?
throwing legs in to try and get him down.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I like that about him. I think he's a young, hungry talent coming through, and he's going to be really bright and really good. And Gabri Martinelli as well. Hopefully, he'll feature tomorrow on the other wing as well. It might mean that Pepe's had one game in after his ban and is back out again, but so be it. Yeah.
Thing is, though,
I've got a question. So you've asked me what I think of Arsenal from
Yeah.
an outside perspective. Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you the obvious question. What did you guys think of us on Wednesday night?
I thought you were
I
great.
thought you really looked
Yeah.
good. You look more solid than what we did as a whole, like sort of unit and a team.
you set up well from the beginning.
Yeah, you knew what you was doing.
You knew
Yeah.
what you wanted as well.
I thought
you're
defensively you were solid. Attacking, I thought you were a threat every time you went forward. You took the lead, and I thought you could have had a couple more as well.
You'd done your homework.
You've done your homework. You won the
knew that we
midfield. Yeah, you were a great side, really good side, and you will be.
Stat
you'll
I've
do
got
well
for
with
you
it.
is that 8 of those 11 that we started on Wednesday night, 8 of them actually started in the 9-0 home defeat against
Yeah.
Leicester,
Yeah.
which I was
So-
unfortunate enough to go to. But
Oh, you. Oh, that's a
yeah.
shame.
So,
This is where I said to Mike, we was unfortunate to go to the game that you lot beat us a few years ago in the cup, and
Yeah.
you scored that wonder goal from like 29 yards.
was that
Yeah,
Klein?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I mean, I remember we were sitting in North Bank that night, and I was just like,
We were.
I remember just sitting there and seeing that goal. And as soon as he hit it, what did I say to you, Mike? This is going in.
Who was with us? There was a few others with us. There was 3 or 4 of us.
There
Wasn't
was
there?
a few others with her. But as soon
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Klein hit that, I looked at Mike. I went, "This is going in," and Mike went, "Nah, he's got this covered. This is safe." And as soon as it went in, he looked at me like, "Told ya."
That's when we met Jay, wasn't it? Jamie.
Yeah.
And I think my ex was with me as well.
Yeah, we met a few people that night.
So, trivial question: Who made their first ever start in English football in that game?
What, in the Leicester game?
For the that cup game against Arsenal for Saints. Who made their very first start in English football?
Klein, didn't it?
No, it wasn't Klein.
Somebody
no,
like
he'd been with us a few years actually.
somebody like Bale.
No, it was quite some time after Bale. Should I tell you?
Go on, yeah.
Sadio Mane.
Oh, Mane.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Who scored your other goal? I know it was 2-1. I think it was. Who scored your other goal?
2-0. It was Tadic from the penalty spot, but it was Mane that won the penalty.
No,
Okay.
I remember it being.
I'm not a fan of
2-1.
crediting players with winning penalties, but
Yeah, it was 2-1. I know we scored.
It was
Yeah.
2-1. I remember
Yeah.
I'm sure we went 1-0 up.
I think possibly, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
I thought-
we did.
Sounds
if
about
you
right.
scored, I think did you not get a consolation or?
Maybe, yeah. It might have been that.
It might have been that. I do remember us scoring though.
Yeah.
I
So what did you
remember-
make of, what I will say is, going back to the game on Wednesday, what did you make of the lineup as a whole? And, the fact that Eddie started and Balogun was completely out of the squad again. So what did you make to that? And also there's the subs rule is going to be changing apparently as well, possibly,
Yes.
which means there might be an extra place for 2 people on the bench. So, if we use them right and we put in Balogun and Smith Rowe, then it'd be good. But if you use it to put in somebody like, I don't know, a Willian and the Xhaka, then it's a bit of a waste. But, what would you make to that?
I think that, again, it goes back to, I believe that Arteta's got his favourites, and I believe Eddie is a favourite of Arteta's.
Yeah.
And he's doing a rotation with him and Laka.
Which I just don't think is working.
Yeah.
I would rather see Balogun in there.
Yeah, well, he played tonight for the 23s, didn't he? Yeah.
I'd rather see him in there. And I think the 5 subs. I think that'll work wonders. I really do.
If we use the right players.
Yeah, if we use the right players, because if players go down injured and you've already used up 3 subs, and you'd think, right, no, I can bring on another sub now. Yeah. And I've always thought that subs should be more in football. Having 5 subs and only being able to use 3 of them, I just think you should be at least able to use 4 out of that.
Even with this new proposed change, I think you can still only use 3 sub breaks, can't you?
Yeah, so you have to do it in 3 sub breaks, but the half time doesn't count as a sub break.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
So technically, you've got 4, so you could make changes at half time, and then.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's how it works. But then they've also got that kind of concussion.
Yeah, which I like
as well.
I was talking to Ron about that earlier as well, and I like that. Yeah, I think that'll be really good, especially because a lot of those things are accidental as well. Take Jimenez and David Luiz. There's no malice in there. And fortunately, it happened at the start of the game, and there was, that was one of their subs. But if that happens, later on in the game, and then you use 3 subs, and you have to aim with a man less, it's not really fair, is it?
Yeah.
Did any of you boys cheer the other night when Liverpool scored their second goal?
I was watching it. I was actually doing it on the watch along. It was. I think I've half missed it, to be honest.
Who laughed at Tim Sherwood? Who laughed at Tim Sherwood? Come on.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
He was sat there when they were just about to take their corner. He was like, Tottenham have got the aerial advantage there. This won't be a goal. And literally, as he said, it won't be a goal. They crossed it in and Firmino back in. Literally, I'm crying.
Obviously, I didn't go as mad as I would if Arsenal scored, but I sort of when Liverpool scored, I was like, yeah, go on, Liverpool. I was like, I don't want if Tottenham win the league, man, I'm going to move to another planet.
Yeah. I might start watching tennis or something.
Start watching golf.
Yeah, as I said, I'll just carry on watching ice hockey. I'll carry on watching ice hockey. So that starts in January again. So I'm all good.
Well, I will say, these have had their opinion on this already, but I want to get your opinion about Theo Walcott's comments, Wayne, about the comments he made after the game.
I didn't really see the comments he made. I heard about them, but what did he actually say? I weren't too
about Arsenal being very fearful.
Very fearful.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like you can see the frailties in Arsenal. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing now. Ex-players are coming out and saying things, and you got to start questioning it all, wouldn't you? Really? I mean, because for ex-players to come out and start saying, we saw this happening or it was happening while we was there, it makes you wonder that. This is why I don't want to blame Arteta too much, because is it Arteta or is it the players?
The one thing I'll say about Theo Walcott is he spent how long? 14, 15 years at Arsenal?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, 13. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't 15, was it?
It must be like 12 years.
And I think he's a very, very genuine guy, Theo Walcott, and I think he's got Arsenal's best interests at heart.
Did you see him after the game? He was chatting with Arteta for about 10-15 minutes.
No, I didn't see that. No.
I'm telling you, Theo was wasted. He was wasted at Arsenal, Theo. When he first broke onto the scene, I said that. And again, Wenger started playing him in the wrong position. Theo's always been a striker. He was never a winger. Even sort of, when he before he joined us, he was a striker.
Yeah.
What I will say about Theo as well is even, I said it with Aubameyang, but with Theo, his goal was, finished really lovely as well. And we come to expect that from Theo when he played at Arsenal. It was very much what he did for us as well.
2 very good assists in the game.
Yeah. And what happened when I remember sitting there when Theo joined us, and I said, "Why is he playing out on the wing? Why not play him up front? He would score goals." As soon as he got into that England team and he had his first debut, do you remember he got hat-trick because he was up front?
Yep.
Croatia, wasn't it?
Then, he never played. He sort of played him a couple of times in the striker's role and then dropped him again. Theo was wasted at Arsenal. I really do believe that with Theo and Chamberlain as well. I believe he was wasted at us.
Yeah, another great player, another Southampton player as well. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, why would you let Chamberlain go?
Liverpool come in with a good bid, and that was it, really.
Yeah. It was hard. It was hard for him to turn it down because I think Chamberlain wanted to be Champions League football, and he saw
the title again.
He saw the way that Arsenal were going, and this is what I'm saying. Like you asked me about Theo coming out and saying that ex-players are coming out and saying what we're all starting to see now.
Yeah.
So they saw that. So this is why
they've seen it from the inside as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, and this is where I will question and say. This is why I said I don't want to blame Arteta too much, because these same players that are letting Arteta down, let Unai down, let Wenger down in his last sort of 5 years. These are the same players, but yet they're still getting picked week in, week out. I don't understand it. If they've let 2 previous managers down, now they're letting this manager down.
Yeah, you can't look at the manager.
You can't look
exactly.
at it.
And I think that's why we've got to. I know we've got a bad run, and we're going to have a shocking run coming up to New Year. If we get a point or two, a couple of points out of it, I wouldn't be happy. I'd probably think, we've done all right based on recent form.
Yeah,
but we can't judge him on one transfer window. You've got to remember, you can't get the bad stock that's in our club. That's give or take 10 or 11 players. Now, you can't expect to ship out 10 or 11 players for
and he's got to ship out
because none of them are worth that much.
But you can
and then bring in a load of half-decent players because it's going to cost you 150, 200, 250 million for any sort of half-decent player. And
he's got to ship them out to be able to get them in as well. We missed out on Dominic yesterday. He's gone and signed for Leipzig. So
But you can blame Arteta, and you can question him on his tactics and why are his signings, no one else's, his signings not starting. Cedric,
exactly.
Why ain't they starting?
I think
you've got to question that.
I think if he started playing, if he played his Europa squad for the next few games and moved it around a bit, made it look like he was really trying to get anything he can, any sort of result, and if it was then still going badly, you could say, okay, he's really trying to give it a try. Let's give him the transfer window. Let's see what he can pull out the bag in January.
So this is why
at the moment we can just see him playing his same best mates, and then letting him down, but thinking, well, I can't leave one of my mates out, so I'm just going to have to go with him again.
This is why I said to you the other night that I don't want to get rid of him unless an experienced manager is available and they will come in and do a job. So if all of a sudden Allegri picked up the phone tonight and said, right, I'm available, do you want me to come in? I'll say, cheers, Arteta, you won us the FA Cup, but we do need an experienced manager that's going to get the best out of these players. I won't get rid of him now. If there's no one available, just let him have a transfer window, let him get some players in and see what he can do. Or even if you don't want to get rid of him, get him help.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him an experienced assistant manager, someone that knows what they're doing, like coaches, everything like that. If you don't want to get rid of him,
or Henry.
Henry Vieira, and it goes into what we were saying earlier, and we said it off stream. We haven't said it on stream yet, but of course, with me and you, Wayne, are Stevenage fans as well. And Dean Wilkins is a name that Southampton fans know really well. So what kind of a guy is Dean? What should people expect from Dean over at Stevenage?
What's happened there? I haven't really seen it.
Is that for me or?
Yeah, for you, Matt. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, absolutely wonderful guy, Dean Wilkins. So I don't know. You said you didn't know. I think Dean Wilkins has been appointed. What's his actual job title?
Assistant manager.
Assistant manager.
I
don't think you could have made a better signing realistically than Dean Wilkins. So he was brought into to Saints by Alan Pardew.
Yeah.
And we were saying off stream about how you quite often, when a manager's sacked or leaves, you quite often get their backroom staff leaving as well. And that happened with Pardew, but Dean Wilkins was asked to stay, and he became Nigel Atkins' assistant as well.
Yeah.
So that shows you just what a great committed guy he is. Apparently, he was very well known for doing things for keeping the team morale up and things like that. Just a experienced, all-round good guy, and I think that's an absolutely brilliant signing by Stevenage.
Well,
And of course, he's
Stevenage up.
yeah. Well, of course, there's the fact he was linked in with Brighton very well. He managed Brighton. I think he played for Brighton as well. I think he played over 300 appearances for Brighton, in fact, over the years. Right. So, a big name around football, and of course, Ray's brother as well. Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, I don't think you could have made a better signing for an assistant manager position in League Two. I think any club in League One or League Two would be very lucky to have Dean Wilkins, potentially even the Championship as well, because he was with us, I think, on our way up. We sort of bypassed the Championship, but he was with us, I think, for that. Yeah, so I think you've done absolutely remarkably well.
And I think he'll do really well. It's set in place for if anything is to happen with Revs, then if Revs was to lose his job,
he was always quite happy to. Sorry,
no, I was just going to say if Revs was to lose his job as well, then he's set up nicely to come in and become a manager maybe as well. There, that's Stevenage, yeah.
And he was always very happy to sort of be the backroom guy and let other people take the credit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think absolutely remarkable. So I must admit, actually, when you messaged me that, and I kind of half read the article because we were just ready, because I mentioned before we were on stream, I had a funeral to go to today. So we were just about to kind of leave for that. And I kind of saw this, and I genuinely thought Arteta had been sacked and you've put him in charge as caretaker manager. I wasn't... I didn't even be like, hang on, what? I thought, fair enough. But yeah, no, you've done really, really well.
I think you'll do good for Stevenage. And, we'll go back to Southampton now while we're on the subject of Southampton. You've done fantastically well this season so far. Do you reckon you'll continue that? And, who have you got this weekend as well?
Oh, do you know what? I'm very, very nervous about Saints-based predictions.
Yeah,
because I've never accurately predicted a Saints win, so I don't do them anymore. Do I think we can keep this up? I don't see why not, because I know there's the argument to say that games are going to come thick and fast now, and we've got a very, very small squad. But actually, one of the many reasons we've got to where we are is by keeping that team, that same 11, no rotations whatsoever. So I don't think that argument has merit here. Obviously, for things like injuries and suspensions, you can't help that. Oriol Romeo is a very, very important part of our game, but in his position, he's going to pick up suspensions. Danny Ings, as much as I like Danny Ings, he's very...
as much as anybody loves Danny Ings,
believe it or not, I went to school with him, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I used to play football with him in the mornings. Really, really good guy.
Love that.
But, unfortunately, any time he goes down, I'm just like, my heart's in my mouth.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we've got Manchester City at the weekend.
I think you'll get a result against them.
I think they'll get a result,
but whether it'll be a good one or not, I don't know.
They're a bit out of sorts, so I think
they're a bit wobbly at the moment. They don't seem to be consistent with any sort of results.
Yeah,
which is a bit ironic.
We beat them at St Mary's last season.
You did
when Shay Adams scored his first ever goal.
Yeah, it was a good win.
Not first ever goal, but first ever goal for us.
Yeah, it was a good result.
So, good win. And it was a good half volley. I mean, the good thing is, I think we're basically safe from relegation. That's kind of how our fan base is still thinking.
you got to do something seriously bad to get relegated now.
Yeah, I mean, we're on 23, or are we on 20, 23?
What's the safe on it?
24 points, probably about 40 odds, yeah.
So what are we on, 23?
24.
24, so we're safe. Let's be honest.
We were safe from relegation.
We're like right at the thick of it. We're what 5 points,
So
and bang out of form.
now that we're safe, it's about looking at the next target, which I think is getting into that mid-table. And once we're kind of assured of that, it's kind of looking at where this team can go. And I think it's quite dangerous to put limits on it. One thing I've never liked in football or in life, I guess, is putting targets on things, because I don't like it when we say, "Oh, we want to finish in the top 10, say 7th or something like that," because I always just think, why not 6th?
Yeah.
That goes to my point, Mike. What he just said there about Southampton not really setting targets. If they finish in the top 10, that to them is, and to most clubs, is a good season. Now, as Arsenal fans, and I've said this, the last 15 years, or since we won the Invincibles, we expect too much. We're supposed to be the 3rd biggest club in the country, behind Man United and Liverpool, on title wins and everything else. But yet, when we left Highbury, we was promised within 10 years that we would be competing at the top level. We'd be competing for Champions League titles.
Yeah.
And we've gone backwards from that. And now I just sit there and I think, I don't expect us to win. I don't expect us to get in the top 4.
At the moment, I'm not expecting us to get in the top side of the table.
Exactly.
No, same.
Like I said to you guys the other night, I would rather us spend 2 seasons out of Europe, do a complete rebuild on that team, and just go from there.
The thing is, though, if you're not in Europe, what about the players that will lose interest in, coming to Arsenal?
Yeah, Southampton are doing well like that, though, aren't they?
I was going to say,
I think it's a different kettle of fish, though, isn't it? Because
I was going to say,
Liverpool done it for Liverpool were out of Europe for 2 seasons, and look at the players they attract: Van Dijk, Mainey, Salah. They done it. Why can't we do it?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
What I was going to say as well is we're out of the Champions League and we're still attracting someone's party. We're always going to be a big, high, attractable club to players.
I think you're right. I think if we sit out of Europe, I know it'll be tough, but it's that one less competition that you've got to worry about. And
just
then
focus on the league.
Yeah, and then all those players that you throw in the Europa League, like the likes of Balogun, Willock, Nelson, Aziz, Cottrell, they ain't got those games to play then. So when are they going to play? They're going to have to play in cup games and in the league.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can go, well, they're not experienced. Well, how are they going to get experience if you don't play them?
Exactly. And we saw with Bukayo Saka, he's come in and he was a young lad when he come in. He didn't have any experience, but he's one of the shining lights of the side.
I thought Wednesday night he was your shining light. I thought on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But
more often than not, he is.
As I said to you guys the other night, let's be real about it. Even if we was in the Champions League, would we really be competing?
No.
We'd get embarrassed again by Bayern Munich, right? We'd get
Barcelona or whatever.
Even teams like going up against teams like Anderlecht, I'll be fearing the worst.
Well, what I was going to say is you're touching on Anderlecht there as well. With the Europa League draw, we haven't got an easy Europa League draw. What do you make to that? You reckon that could be tricky? Yeah,
they're one of the top teams in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get a thumping if we're not careful.
Yeah,
Europa League draw. Yeah.
And the first leg's out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
First leg's in Portugal. So, and even if we do get past that, you think then the teams that we could face, we could end up meeting Tottenham again,
United,
Leicester.
Ajax is another one. They're huge.
Ajax, who else in there? Milan. There's so many good teams.
There's plenty.
I'll be fearful of playing Rangers at the moment in UEFA Cup.
Yep.
How much of a priority is the Europa League for you guys at the moment?
It's massive because the board want us back in the Champions League, and if we can't do it for the top 4, then we got to do it for Europa.
Yeah,
so
doesn't that then contradict what you were saying about sitting out of Europe a minute ago?
It does, but at the same time, I'd rather it because, like I said, let's be real. If we was in the Champions League, we wouldn't compete. We'd get turned over every match, every game.
We'd be out by the group stages anyway. So we'd have the second half of the year to sort stuff
Can
out.
you imagine if we got to Champions League next season, right? And with the players we got, if he didn't sign a couple of good players, right? And we all of a sudden we drew a group like Bayern Munich, Inter Milan,
and PSG.
PSG or someone else, we would get battered every game. Bayern Munich, it would be 8-0 this time instead of 5-0.
PSG will probably put 10 past us and Barcelona 12.
We wouldn't compete in the Champions. I strongly believe that with that team that we've got, unless we
can't even challenge in the Premier League or the League Cup. So I don't know.
Exactly. We can't even beat Burnley at home.
We ain't PSG, are we?
Or whoever else. We've just about got past Sheffield United at home, and they're on 1 point. So
so that's what I'm saying. I'd rather do what Liverpool done, sit out of Europe for 2 seasons, then rebuild. Because I still believe that we wouldn't attract probably players like on a Ronaldo caliber, but we could still attract very good players, very star quality players that would still want to come to Arsenal because of the history. And because
I think you could attract players that were kind of experienced Europa League players in the sense that they want to play in the Champions League. They could quite easily get there with Arsenal, or they could move on somewhere else. And so it's a win-win for them.
I think that's a good shout. I think the Europa League players are what we need to be aiming for. That's why I like the likes of Dominic, as I was saying before, we just missed out on, and Hassan Mawara and guys like that who we've been looking at.
We've already made a signing near enough, anyway.
Who's that?
Omar Rekic from.
He's an 18-year-old defender, but he's another one that won't play.
Yeah,
he's another signing. We're probably lined back to him. So
and then it goes back to Saliba again. Saliba, he played for the under-23s today, but he's not registered in the squad for anything. There'll be the only opportunity.
And he played nearly 2/3 of the season at St. Etienne.
We've been linked with him again. Would you guys take him, Jorginho, from Chelsea?
No.
No.
I'm not even sure I'd take him at Saints.
At the end of the day, look, we've had 2 Chelsea rejects, and they're both doing great at Arsenal, weren't they? I don't want a trio of Brazilian no-hopers in my team.
No, definitely not. I don't want aging players. Yes, I think we need to buy from the Premier League, but we need to buy young players coming from the Premier League.
Yeah, we need to go and get Danny Ings.
I heard that.
Better than
Lacazette back and Shea Adams and
there's plenty of players in there, aren't there? Yeah,
Jimenez for Wolves, he's brilliant.
Do
you know who I said?
Not at the moment.
Well, no. But do you know who I said we should have got? And I'm gutted that we never got him, and he went to Liverpool. Was Diego Jota? I think he would have been brilliant at Arsenal.
Or Ronaldo, or Messi. We could have had them.
Apparently we could have had Suarez, but we wouldn't pay the extra £1.50 or whatever it was for his fee.
Have we got any spare change? We might be able to do it now.
To be honest, would you want that trouble? Would you want that?
At the time, yes, because if we would have signed...
I found a fiver, we'll even get some change.
That season, all we was lacking was a top striker, because we didn't have a Aubameyang or Lacazette. If we would have got Suarez, we'd have won the league that year. I still believe that, because that's all we was lacking was a top striker. And
that was when we lost to Swansea at home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were there.
16.
Yeah. I was there as well.
And all we had up front was Benter and Giroud.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if we would have, I'll tell you what, I'll take Giroud back right now.
Yes, please.
Same. Definitely.
I'll definitely take him back right now.
We need somebody like that, a bit of a different dimension up front, somebody we can just fire crosses into, and somebody that's actually tall, because we're putting crosses in. But these players,
I'll take Jack Wilshere back right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd take him back on a pay as you play contract.
Yeah.
Really?
Him and Partey in the midfield. Yep, all day long. I'll take him back.
Jack Wilshere would play quite well as a number 10.
You'd have Aaron Ramsey back, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%.
If I had the choice of Rambo or Wilshere, it'd be Rambo every day.
I'd take Ramsey, I'd take Wilshere, I'd take Giroud. All of those three. Even Alexis Sanchez. There's names for sure.
Apparently, Ramsey's had a crap start.
I quite like Iwobi.
Yeah, it won't be.
I know he gets a bit of stick from the Arsenal fans. I think he's quite a good player, actually.
Yeah, I like him more as a player than I do actually like his hair. But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like him anymore because he's going to score tomorrow.
Oh, he will. He will.
Who would you take from Saints then?
Well,
Danny
we said
Ings.
loads. Danny Ings, 100%.
Shay
Yeah.
Adams.
Yeah, Shane Adams.
Really?
I'll
Would
tell you
take
who I would
Ward-Prowse?
take.
Your
Yes.
whole back five.
Yeah.
Your strikers.
No,
your
do you know who I
manager,
would take? The one
Your
player
board.
I would take.
There's one player I would take as
Ward-Prowse.
well. Yeah,
Prowse,
Ward
100%.
Prowse, yeah. Free kick
I think it is.
specialist.
it'd improve Arsenal. Yeah,
He signed
Yeah.
a new contract a few months ago.
I know he
Yeah.
did.
And
And actually,
Vestergaard.
another player I would take, as well as Vestergaard as well, the one player that I would take is Stuart Armstrong. I rate him as
Yeah.
well.
But this
Very,
is what I
very
said
good
to you
player.
guys the other night. If we went out, right, if we got 25, 30 million to spend, I would love to go out and sign that Lewis Dunk from Brighton because he is a top defender.
Absolutely. I would love him at
He's-
Saints.
He's brilliant. He's Premier League proven.
Absolutely
and then
brilliant.
and then
And
go
that-
to the
That
Championship.
Norwich
and get
midfielder.
Max
What's his
Aarons.
name?
Go and get him.
Binald or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Buendia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Max Aarons.
And Cantwell.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could probably get all three of them for about 40 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really love Lewis
That's what I'm
Dunk.
saying. And I can guarantee you, them three would do better than Bellerin, Xhaka, and Willian.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Any if you go through the whole Premier League and even the Championship, a few teams
Mm-hmm.
in the Championship, right? You could probably pick every team in that league. You could probably pick 5 players out of that team, even your team, right? You could pick 5 players who we said we would sign that we would take and say that they would do better than what we've got now.
What's the
And,
lad at Forest called? I can't think of his name.
Oh, the Nottingham Forest bloke.
Yeah, he assists quite a lot.
Oh, what is his name? I don't know.
I
But yeah,
can't think of his name,
remember.
but yeah.
I know what you mean.
Would you take
Yeah,
Wayne? Would you take Ilias at Arsenal?
I'll take Ronnie Emery back right now. You know what I mean?
Take Nicholas Bentner back right now.
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Sorry,
Ronnie.
you got to remember, we had the likes of Igor Stepanovs in our team when we still
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Champions League football.
Sideshow Fox, Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had
Nelson
I don't want to
Bieber.
make anyone feel old, but I don't know who that one is.
Stepanovs. He was around
Gilles Lamonde.
2008.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was at
right.
the when I went to the Legends game against AC Milan. Him and Pascal Zigan were in defence that day.
I was there as well. It was around about
Yeah,
I was around about my birthday, and Kanu scored a hat trick.
Kanu came on and scored that trick in about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and he's like 40 odd years old.
If he hadn't played for Pompey, I would just love him.
Kanu was a brilliant player. He was superb. Absolutely loved that guy, and I did like Anelka until he kind of sort of done what he did. But
no, I loved Anelka. I think Anelka was very,
I was
very,
there.
very
I was there at the
underrated.
United game when
I
I was
remember-
3-2 at Highbury.
I remember going to a Charity Shield final in 1999 at the old Wembley Stadium against Man United.
Yeah.
And I remember Nicholas Anelka coming up to the Arsenal fans, and they're all chanting "F off Nicholas Anelka" because of what he was saying about the club and that. So, but as a player, you can't take away. You know, he was a quality player, top.
What I
quality.
will say,
Right the way through his career.
what I will say
Yeah.
is, if you've not seen his documentary, watch his documentary as well. It's exceptional, really, really good.
I've seen it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, I might give that a watch.
Andre, I feel like Nicholas Anelka. You could. I feel like any club he's played for could quite truthfully say I liked him until
Yeah,
because it just seems to end like that for him. Doesn't it? But you can't take anything away from what he did on the field because he was absolutely fantastic throughout his entire career. He was just so consistent.
But that year, that front four that we had Henry, Bergkamp, Anelka, and Kanu.
Oh, it's unreal. Yeah, and even that's some of those players there.
Yeah, and we had in the midfield, we had Vieira, Omars, and Petit, and Parla.
Yeah.
Now that midfield, everyone was fearful of that midfield coming up against that every week.
Would you have had Tony Adams at the back as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that time, yeah.
Yeah, Tony would have been at the back alongside Martin, and probably still Lee Dixon and all that as well. Like,
I'll have Tony Adams back now.
Eboué or Saka, not Saka, Sanya or somebody like that. Yeah. Other strikers, I really.
Another one, Bakary Azanya. He was a brilliant player. He was a top right back.
Oh, one thing I was going to ask you, or all of you.
Think
Theo, I was gonna Google this, but I didn't want to cheat. So is Theo Walcott your highest ever scorer at the Emirates?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wondered this on Wednesday. He's got to be, isn't he? He's got to be.
He is.
It's going to be between him and Robin van Persie, I would imagine.
Yeah. And Van Persie
Yeah.
was another exceptional one as well.
Yeah.
And also, rest in peace, Jose Reyes as well.
Yeah,
exceptional talent
massive.
as well.
Reyes was something else, I thought.
He was in the Invincibles as well. You can't forget him, man.
I remember his first few games where the whole of the squad were so eager to get him a goal. Like they were on goal, and they were still trying to pass it back to give it to him. Like
I know.
He was another one, Reyes, who just never seemed to decline with age. He was still as good as he was when he was a teenager.
One player that did come through the ranks as well, and it was just a shame that he just got injured all the time. And I think he would have been the next Vieira, was Diaby.
Yes.
He was getting injured all the time, and every time he put that Arsenal shirt on, he just looked the part. He had everything. He was barging players and everything, and he was just injury prone. He just kept getting injured. He'd play like 3 games and then he'd be out for half a season.
Yeah,
with just bad luck injury, and I do believe he would have been a top player.
But that's what Arsenal are like, though. Arsenal, we've always been either a club that have been very unfortunate with injuries, or would have these players, and then like Southampton, would go on and sell them, like Serge Gnabry, for example.
Oh, he was another one. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
What did we ever sell him?
One player I think you made a bit of a mistake letting go, Seb Larsson.
Yeah.
I really rated him. Even if you just have him on for the free kicks, he's going to get goals and assists.
Would you take Christian Eriksen right now?
no.
Over
At Southampton or at Arsenal?
Either.
at Arsenal, Ed said no. I'd say yes.
I'd say yes as well.
If we're not going to register Mesut Ozil, then we have to put Christian Eriksen in because we missed out on Dominic.
It depends I suppose it depends on your options. If he was the only option,
Hassim will probably stay with them lot. So it's probably going to be the only option. So why not?
I'd say no. As a Saints fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not to say that he's what we've got is better. I just don't think, looking at it from a practical point of view, his wages would cripple us, and also we're doing so well at the moment. I just don't want to bring anyone, because you bring Christian Eriksen into Southampton, he's going to start. He can't not start, and I wouldn't want to disrupt that rhythm we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'd truthfully say no, and that's the same for Messi or Ronaldo as well.
I think even at like Arsenal, like we've got this culture at the moment where we buy players and don't play them.
Yeah,
that's what I said to you the other night with Thomas Partey when he came in. He was our top signing for ages, and he didn't start in the first game against Man City, and they signed a player the same day as Partey, and he started.
And it's like,
what's going on?
Yeah, you've got. If I understand, you're going to have this kind of uproar of, well, he's just come into the team. Yeah, but he's a marquee signing. That's what happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you get over it, and if you don't want him to play over you, train better, play better.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason. Like, if I say I was, I don't know, Willian at the moment, and Arsenal went out and bought another amazing winger, I would be peed off. But then I'd have to think, well, why?
Yeah, I've got to work harder to actually get.
Why has he gone and done that? I'm a winger. I'm a winger, and I'm supposed to be playing there. So then I'd be like, oh, he's doing it because he don't think I can do the job. Right, I'm going to prove him wrong.
Yeah,
and I think managers only go out to buy players because the ones they've got aren't good enough.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to your point with Bellerin as well earlier, like when you said that there's no competition in, and I think certain places in that team there is no competition at all, and because the players know. Players like Bellerin, Xhaka, and Willian.
What I will say, Danny Ceballos as well, bringing him back for a second spell, I think was ridiculous. I think it was. I like Danny as a player when he's on form, but it's far too infrequently.
He's talk of us getting Isco.
Yeah,
mate,
in January, and he's going for like 20 million.
Yeah,
and he's still what 28 years old.
Yeah,
so he's still got about
him up,
5 years left.
And he's played with Ceballos as well.
Yeah, I would take.
Why aren't you playing Ozil? I mean, that's probably an essay question.
If
do
we
you want to open Pandora's box? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Because I know
If you
there's
know, I will give you £1 million because
I know there's
anyone
things
really
going on
knows.
behind the scenes, but also there's things going on behind the scenes with half your players.
Yeah,
So
there is.
why isn't he near that start? Because he's got quality. He can put the
Yeah.
ball into the
Yeah.
box. He can
With-
lay it on a plate
Yeah.
for four.
With
I don't know
you
if I
think that-
support a football
him
team
and,
or support a soap opera, to be honest.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, just sorry. Him and Aubameyang, that's a dream combination for any team in the world, surely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Lacazette and Pepe as well, like behind and alongside. Yeah.
That's a dream front four. That should be a world beating front four. Why is it
Yeah.
not being tried? Why is it not happening?
Because
I
he's
thi-
been frozen
From an
out.
outside
You know, he was frozen out because of political reasons. You know, Arteta said football reasons, but we all know that's not the case, and we're not going to pretend that it is.
I think Arteta's either got to do two things in January. He's either got to swallow his pride and go, I'm registering him and I'm playing him, or he goes to Ozil and go, if I'm not playing you, you're gone. Bye.
You're
Whatever
gone.
you want, we'll give you the money. Get your bags, off you go.
And then we go and sign.
Yeah, because
And then we go and sign Isco.
Yeah, the thing is,
I know.
they're the only two options because if we let him sit on his backside for 350k a week for the next 6 months,
Playing
what's that saying?
Yeah.
What's that saying to the rest of the squad?
Yeah.
And that goes to
Fear
our
of
point.
walkover.
Potential
They're-
incoming players.
Yeah.
And the players that are playing are lazy as well, and they're thinking, oh well, there's no competition. I'm going to get my money, so whether we win or lose, it don't really matter to me.
No, exactly. I know.
And
What does that say for any potential signings coming into Arsenal?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of uprest and
It's that whole ethos, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But where's this? But what I will question, right? Before the Tottenham game, they said, that the Arsenal players and the manager had a secret meeting,
Yes.
and there was a lot of rows and a lot of pointing the blame, and there was a lot of clearing the air. Where was the secret meeting and this anger been on the pitch? Because I haven't seen it.
It
I
hasn't been
didn't
there.
see it against Tottenham. I didn't see it against Burnley. And I didn't really, apart from the second half, I didn't really see it against Southampton.
No.
No.
And Burnley, you can say we saw it for 15, 20 minutes against Burnley as well at the start, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Same against us, to be fair.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this angriness or any of this fight that they're saying that, the thing that annoys me is like when we lost to Burnley, the next day they're all up in training on the morning, all smiles and laughing with Ozil and other players, and I'm sitting there thinking, mate, we just lost at home to Burnley, fourth home defeat in a row. We haven't scored at home for we scored 1 goal in 4 games at home.
We've got serious disciplinary records. We're right down towards the bottom end of the table. Yeah.
In December, we're sitting 15th in December. This ain't August. This is December.
Yeah. If I was Arteta, I'd be screaming at him.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I think
Like
players
I'd be telling the club photographer and the club videographer to do
Get
that.
out.
I'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't want anything on social media because I am going to rip them a new backside.
Yeah,
I think players need to have that sense of pride or shame.
And they've got to have a bit of fear for the manager. Look at the way Ferguson was at United with their hairdryer treatment.
Yeah.
There was a reason players wanted to avoid that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I heard a story a few years ago. I think Roy Keane told it on Sky Sports, where he'd had a really, really bad game. He came into the dressing room and Ferguson looked him in the eye and just went, "Oh, Roy," and then just shook his head, and that was it. That was all he needed.
It was that kind of your parents said, "I'm really disappointed in you."
He just had such a respect for Fergie that he just didn't want to let him down. And have the Arsenal players got that for Arteta?
No,
and I think
not.
It's spinning the question around on me. I think Southampton have got that for Ralph Hasenhüttl. The players don't want to let him down. The players, when you don't want to lose,
I'll take him off for you lot as well. We'll have the manager.
Yeah, we'll have your manager.
I tell you, I would take right now Benitez as well.
Yeah, I said Benitez earlier. I'd be my number one choice.
I would take him in a heartbeat right now.
Yeah.
If him, I just don't feel like.
And Brendan Rodgers, you're like, yeah.
Even in Wenger's first tenure at the club, the players respected him back then. But then, as soon as we moved to the Emirates, that's when the problems started falling apart. As soon as our top players left, like Vieira's and that, and retired, and we brought all these players in, they just didn't have the same respect, the same hunger, passion, fight that the old players did have back then. And they just don't. I think a select few respect Arteta, but
the younger ones.
Yeah, as a whole.
Is there a difference between like and respect? Do they like him or do they respect him?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think
that's
there is
a
a
big
difference.
difference. And I think that comes back to his consistency of punishments.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're letting certain players get away with stuff, like Xhaka, who was club captain, who was given a second chance, and he's cocked it right up, and then not come out and said anything about it. Him or Arteta, Arteta was quick to jump on Pepe's back.
Yeah.
It just shows,
favoritism.
Yeah, okay, he might have done it privately at the training ground.
I doubt it.
That's the thing. We don't know that kind of stuff. But if say you're at work and you've done something wrong and your manager tells you off in his office, you can cope with that. But if he outs you on social media and in the press, it's going to affect you more. So
it's a bit different. If somebody pulls you to one side and says something, or if somebody,
if you're going to do it to Pepe, do it to everyone.
What I was going to say there as well, just to bring it back to that example there, what you were saying there, pull them to the to one side and have a quiet word. That's fair enough. That's all respectable and all well and good. But you don't shout it out to everybody on a staff Christmas party, or whatever. Do you?
And if you're going to, you do it for everyone that's done it wrong.
Sorry.
Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, there's nothing from our point of view good about losing 9-0 at home to anyone. No. There's nothing good about that whatsoever. But the way the players reacted was, I don't want to say it was good because I've just said there's nothing good about it, but
it was commendable.
It was commendable, and it was as good as can be expected. And we've only lost 3 of the last 22 Premier League games
since that, and that's a real So and they've been narrow defeats. There's not been huge defeats in there.
Yeah, the only one is losing 4-0 at Anfield last season, which is no great shame.
We haven't had big defeats, but we're not still getting
3-0 at home.
Apart from the 3-0 against Villa the night they taught us how to play football, but apart from that, we're still not losing heavily, but we're still losing and we're not getting the result. And
don't get me started on that Villa game as well, though. What I will say is we were 1-0 down, or could have been 1-0 down within 50 seconds, whatever it was, or 20 seconds. And we didn't learn from that. Yeah, exactly.
I think if you look at the statistics, like if you look at the stats for Wednesday's game, right?
Yeah.
In total, the whole game we had 35% possession. Right? Accurate passes, 262 out of a possible 340, right? Southampton passes, 632. They had nearly double the amount of passes and more than double the amount of accurate passes.
And that's at home.
And the possession as well. The possession.
When I saw half was 27% for Arsenal.
And that's a mixed bag of passes as well. That's long field, that's diagonal, that's cross, that's all sorts. We were doing all. That's what I like about Ralph. We seem to have made it work and found that mixture between playing the long ball up to the forwards and playing around. And our fans were getting a bit, because we played back to our goalkeeper a lot under the likes of Claude Puel and Maurizio Pellegrino. But actually, what we've learned under Ralph is that playing it back to the goalkeeper can be an effective form of attack.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
What I will say, I was just going to say, in regards to that as well, that stat that you brought up there, the possession stat, you don't see that very often at the Emirates, where the other team have pretty much double your possession.
And the fact that in total we had 4 shots on target at home.
Yeah, I know. Right. And some games we've had 0 or 1.
Yeah. And it's like that needs to change, and it needs to change quickly. We are a club predominantly known to be scoring goals, not
and
good looking
possession.
Football. Yeah, and keeping possession. And we can't get possession, which means then we can't even take a shot.
exactly.
You got to remember, out of those 4 shots on target, one of them was a goal.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So we're not even creating the chances. And I think,
And actually, the second one, or the other, to kind of say that the second part of that, the other chance that were on target would be Rob Holding's header as well. So,
and that's technically not on target if it is the post.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Does that count as on target?
No,
don't know.
because it's not.
Yeah,
it's not going in. If it's a shot that's going in the goal, but the goalkeeper saves it, it's on target. But if it hits the post, that's technically not on target.
Yeah,
that's changed. It was like
it's still like they were very few and far between. Yeah.
And it's something that needs to change very quickly. And I think, it has got to be that change of regime with regards to who we play and how they play.
Yeah. And when I saw the 23s today as well, I just want to bring that up as well. They won 2-1 tonight, and Callum Chambers and Balogun both scored. As a good side as well, a strong side. Not just the academy players, but Saliba played. Chambers was there. Balogun.
Chambers has got to be 26 by now.
Yeah. And it was a good side. When I looked at the side, even that new striker, the new young lad that everyone's raving about, Moller, he played as well. So.
But that's the thing. It's stuff like Saliba. Imagine being a £27 million player and you're playing in the under-21s games and not even registered for the first team.
Yeah.
Like,
that's £7 million over our record signing, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is Danny Ings at 20 million.
Yeah.
It's mental,
isn't it? It's crazy. Absolute craziness. Like, we could put the worlds to right here. We really could. But like with me, you and Wayne have definitely got to go to a game when we're all allowed to again.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
And of course,
I think the last game I went to, I think it was the Vittoria game.
Okay, yeah.
That was the one where Pepe scored.
Yeah, the
wonder free kick.
Yeah, it's a great free kick. Yeah. The last one I went to was just before the first lockdown, and against Everton. In fact, we won 3-2, and they scored after about 30 seconds, I think it was, at the Emirates, and they scored on the stroke of half time, and we scored the third, and what turned out to be the winner for Aubameyang about a minute after half time.
Last time I went, we lost 9-0 at home, so
you don't want to go back in a hurry.
It was just horrific. When we had to drive, because I live in Plymouth.
Yeah.
And it was a 4-hour drive there, the pouring rain, and it was just the worst performance I've ever seen by any sports team at any level. It was just absolutely disgusting. And I know you can say, Ryan Bertrand got a red card after 10 minutes or so, and maybe you can account that for two or three of the goals. 4 if you're an incredibly generous person, but you shouldn't be losing 9-0 at home. And my mum's a steward at St Mary's, so we were staying. Me and my wife were staying with her for the time we were down, so we had to wait around the stadium, and we waited outside where the players come out, so we got to meet a few of the Leicester players.
Yeah.
So we saw Ori Mayo come out, and I think I shouted a few choice words to him, and he went back in, which I'm still really ashamed of. But I met there was a I won't say who it was, but there was a Leicester player that came out and was being greeted by his adoring fans, most of them children. Can you sign this? Can you sign this? Can you sign this? And he literally just went no, and went right past them, got in his own private taxi, and pissed off.
Jamie Vardy's like that, though, isn't
he? How did you guess?
It's all about it was.
Yeah.
But that was kind of, and that I just looked at him and it was just like, no.
Yeah.
But one person I did have a chat with was Wes Morgan.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely person. He, really humble about it. And he hadn't played that game. I think he was on the bench, so he wasn't out of breath or anything. He was just very gentle and quiet. And it was tipping it down with rain, like I said. And he actually asked us, "How long have you got to wait?" and all the rest of it. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
You said about your mum being the steward at Southampton. My mum was the first steward at Stevenage Borough to steward in the away end years ago, and her first match was Stevenage versus Woking in the away end.
Oh, so that's like Arsenal Spurs.
That
Then,
derby.
Yeah.
It's
big
like
derby.
Southampton. It's like Southampton Pompey kind of
Yeah,
derby.
we
Like,
hate each other with a passion. Seeing them open is like whenever the fixture lists come out, it's kind of like Arsenal. The first one you look for is Tottenham home and away.
Yeah.
Whenever the fixture lists come out, the first one Stevenage fans look for is Woking home or away. It's like it's the main derby, and I think that night we beat. That's the night. Do you remember when Craig Dobson scored the winner in the 93rd minute?
Yes,
and that's
very well.
we went 2-1 down, and then we won it 3-2, and that stadium absolutely erupted that night. And
there's a little stadium. It was great. Yeah,
it was the first night as well that I took my cousin with me, and it was his first football match. And as I said, it was my mum's first match as a steward as well. Yeah. And he was leaning up against the barriers, and I said to him, "I wouldn't stand there, mate." And he went, "Why not?" I goes, "Because if we score, they're going to pummel forward in this stadium." And when we scored the winner, I just see my cousin like holding on for dear life, and he was only 15, like on the barriers going, "Fuck it!" I was sitting there trying to grab him, going, "I told you."
Yeah, we've got a system in place for our games against Pompey where you have to get the official club travel to the game. So if you're a Portsmouth fan living in Southampton or vice versa, you have to go to the other ground, get the bus to the stadium, get the bus back, and then get back to and it's just a real, because I think they call it the bubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
you mentioned there as well about meeting the players. I remember being at Arsenal when Arsenal won the league against, when we beat Everton 4-2 on the final day at Highbury. And that's when Ian Wright scored, and he done the whole night, just done it thing around the pitch. And at the end of that game, I remember the street party afterwards, man. It was one of the best sort of street parties I've ever been to in my life.
I love the Arsenal parties, though. When Arsenal wins something, they throw some
incredible
parties.
It was incredible. And I remember all the players coming out, and everyone thought, "Oh, they're just going to get in their cars and go off." But like Ian Wright, Tony Adams, and all them, they joined in with the fans. And we were like in the middle of amongst the fans celebrating like winning the league, and they were actually like singing anti-Tottenham songs and everything. And
but it's a bit like when we won at Anfield in '89. They all got the coach back, and we were in the pubs around Highbury.
That's it. And when we won the FA Cup, we had the parade, and of course the one that everybody knows is Jack on the he's shouting. What do you think of Tottenham?
I love that.
When we beat Villa 4-0 as well, we went up to we watched it in the Gunners pub. Because obviously we couldn't get tickets to the game. We tried so hard to get tickets, but they all went straight to the season ticket holders, not the members. So we thought, well, the next best thing is we'll go up to Arsenal and watch it in the Gunners pub up there. And when we won, again, the street party afterwards was.
I nearly come down to that with you. I didn't, but I almost did.
Yeah. There was a good few of us that went down. So that's the thing, though. When I don't get tickets to the games, the next best thing is just to go up there and sit in one of the pubs somewhere. Because at least if you know you lose, you're with your fans. You're not like in a pub around there where it's a mixture and you get fans in your ear giving it. And
if you win and you want to go and see, like the players stop as well, don't they? Like
I've met a few of them.
I've met Wenger, I've met Canabria, I've met Jack, I've met Lee Dixon. So some of the old Arsenal boys, and
right. He's always he's always around that area, always around the Highbury area, and you see him like when you go up there. Sometimes you see him on his push bike, just riding up and down on his push bike.
It's like the fans, the celebrity fans as well. Like Alex Brooker, like what's his name? The guy that played Max in EastEnders. It was literally, I was walking to a game and he was standing in front of me. I was like, and I think it just killed, or the rumours were going around that it killed Lucy, whatever it was. So
I've heard him actually. He's been on Talk Sport before talking about Arsenal.
Yeah. He do you remember when I worked at the Range, Mike? When I was warehouse manager there, and he used to come into the Range a lot.
Okay.
I work for the Range currently.
Shit company. Sorry to swear on air, but it was rubbish company. Rubbish company to work for. But I was there 3 years. I was there in the warehouse. I was glad to get out of it when I did and got my new job and that. But he used to come into the range a lot. And who else was it? The guy who played Robbie from EastEnders.
Okay,
Ben Gaffney.
He used to come in there a lot, and the girl that plays Sonia, she used to go in there a lot as well.
Okay, yeah.
Especially at Christmas time, they all used to sort of come in and have a look at the stock and everything else and that.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of them live around the Stevenage area, like, or just on the outskirts, like in the villages and that. They live because it's not far from where they film and that. So a lot of them live around this area. I think. Is it the guy Steve McFadden? He lives just up the road as well, about 10 minutes away.
Man United fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
And actually, if you go to very local ones, there's the girl that plays Stacey. She's got a thingy up the Old Town, hasn't she? She's got one of them. The flats.
Yeah, in the Old Town of Stevenage, she's got one of the penthouses at the top. Yeah. She's brought one of them. So
my mate met her actually. He said she was a really nice girl.
Yeah.
I think her husband was with her as well, and he said he was really nice as well. But anyway, I'm going to have to shoot off, lads. This has been absolutely fantastic.
It's been great. It's been long, but really good and enjoyable. Yeah.
How did we go from football to EastEnders characters?
Can we go back?
I don't want any spoilers, though. I haven't seen it for about 2 or 3 weeks, so just keep it to yourselves. But yeah, I'm going to have to shoot. So.
I could tell you what happens. My daughter's a mad EastEnders fan.
Oh yeah, your daughter.
He does have a daughter. Yeah,
I do. She's 17.
It's like in school when you used to say, "I have to watch the Teletubbies. My brother watches it."
No, my daughter's actually going on the EastEnders set after once it's safe to and that, because she got a thing to go on there, and she's the guy who plays, is it Keegan?
Okay, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And the girl who plays Tiffany, they're showing her around the set.
Oh, nice. Wow. Lovely.
So soon she was meant to do it before the first lockdown. She was meant to have gone there, but then obviously because that happened, it got cancelled, and then because she was meant to do it again a couple of months back, but then obviously everything else, it all spiked up again and everything. So as soon as
what I will say before we all shoot off as well is Barbara Windsor, who passed away. She was a big Gooner as well.
Yeah. Do you know
I had the pleasure of meeting her when I was a child. She, believe it or not, she brought out her autobiography, and my dad works at one of the big Tesco's, the all night ones, and she did an autograph signing there when I was about 8. Yeah, she was. Yeah, and we met her husband as well, Scott. Really, really nice guy, and she saw me and my sister went up to her, obviously totally nervous and starstruck, and she saw our school uniforms and just started saying things like, "Oh, what have you done at school today?" And we were I was just like speechless. And
so it's like she's very much, she was very personable as a person.
Yeah, she was. And she got out these like fruit sweets, and she said, "I'll tell you what, you can have one of these if you tell me what one thing you've learned at school today." Yeah. And it was just out of this world.
My dad saw it was going back to when the whole Lucy murder and that was on, and my dad saw Ian Bill, the guy who plays him. I can never remember his name. Adam, is it Adam? Oh, what's his name?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, he saw him at a petrol station one morning on his way to work, and as my dad was filling up, and he was filling up as well his car. My dad shouted out to him who done it, and he's like put him on the spot, and like everyone just looked over at him like, "Yeah, who done it? Who done it?" And he was like,
"He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?"
Yeah. That is, yeah.
The Queen is as well.
Yeah, there's a few.
The Queen's an Arsenal fan. Who else? There's quite a lot of them on EastEnders that support Arsenal.
Yeah, and across, even just across the. Take some of the other ones as well, the sporting people as well, like Mo Farrow as well, guys like that. Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah, there's loads of them.
The only one we've got is Craig David.
That's a good one to have, though.
Sorry?
I said that's a good one to have as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one.
But he sings when he talks normal as well.
I suppose the only other one, Benny Hill.
The theme tune. I love the theme tune. But
Yeah.
you asked Craig David what he did on Friday. He has to go through the whole song.
You're singing the whole thing top to bottom. What you did on Friday to Monday.
Right. I've got to go now, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
cheers, Matt. Thanks a
Thanks
lot,
for
mate.
having me.
Cheers,
It's been a
mate.
pleasure, mate.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having
Cheers.
me.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, we'll start to wrap it up as well now. I know I've got to be very careful at the time. It's about 10 minutes and then we've done 2 hours, so it's a long one. Longer than it was on Monday. Yeah, longer than it was on Monday. So just finally, I'd put you on the spot really. What do you reckon for tomorrow? I know it's going to be a tricky game, but for me, I'd take a point really out of any kind of result, but I'll take a point. Yeah,
I think I would.
I'll take a draw because as I said to you, man, I'm not confident going into any game at the moment, and it's sad because a couple of years ago I was sort of fairly confident going into games, but
Especially an Everton game, I would have gone, we've got 3-0. Now,
yeah, I'm not confident at all, and I'll take at the moment the way we're playing. I'll take a draw in every game if it keeps us up. I'll quite gladly take a point in most games, but. I mean, even after Chelsea, like people saying our next 2 games are tough, but even after Chelsea, we got West Brom and Brighton.
Yeah, exactly. They're not easy games.
And the way we're playing, they could beat us.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Brighton, of course, they beat us last season, and they've beaten us a number of seasons. And West Brom are going to have the new manager bounce as well. And Sam's got a good record against Arsenal.
Yeah, and Brighton have become a bogey side for us in the Premier League.
especially with Welbeck now. He'll score.
Yeah. So it's always a given with Arsenal, isn't it? Whenever ex-players come back, they always score against us.
Yeah. We said it earlier.
Always. You just, I think the next time we play someone that's got an ex-player, I might stick £100 down on it. So he'll score.
I don't know what the odds are on Iwobi to score tomorrow, for example, but yeah.
Oh mate, I can see it now. 89th minute, it'll be 0-0, and Iwobi will get a score a 45-yarder and
don't
screamer, and it'll be 1-0.
I'm worried about that though. That game tomorrow. Yeah, they're without Allen, but if you look at their team, they've got a very strong team, and that front line with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, of course, is flying high on top of the goal scoring charts as well. Seems to score every single week. Like he's going to have a field day against David Luiz, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, people say our away form is better than our home form this season, but is it really?
Not too much.
No. There's not much difference in our away form to our home form. So that's what I mean. I'm not confident going into any game. And people say, the next 2 games are tough. Every game now to the end of the season is tough.
Yeah,
massively.
We can't afford to drop any more points.
Mm-hmm.
We really can't at this stage. If we lose our next 2 games and then we draw with Brighton and West Brom, we are in serious trouble.
We're second bottom then, yeah.
We are in serious trouble. And this is how bad it's getting. I was on a thing the other night and someone said, "Oh, are you looking forward to the derby next season, Brentford versus Arsenal?"
Yeah. We'll have plenty of derbies. We'll have Brentford. We'll have QPR. Like we'll have Millwall. We'll have a few. Yeah. Luton, Arsenal. Like it won't be old first division. It'll be Championship instead. Like
I know.
Arsenal Forest again. And
I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to. But the sad reality is, we in a month's time, if we don't turn this around, we could be thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. We could be like second bottom in the table and just really.
And that's the harsh reality. And 2020 has been such a messed up year. It probably is the year that Arsenal go down and Tottenham will win the league.
Probably,
Do you know what? Do you know what though? We're doing that badly that all my friends that support other teams, they don't even bother taking the mick anymore. It's got that bad that I think it's like feeling sorry for us. Like, I won't even go there.
No. Like, it's like, but we used to be bad.
It's like upsettingly bad.
We used to be bad. We were Banter FC, and now it's sort of like gone beyond Banter FC, where it's like, you know what? We just won't bother anymore. It's not funny no more seeing them like that. And the thing is, when we do lose now, I don't know how you guys feel, but when we lose, I don't even get angry anymore.
No. It's kind of pretty much half expected.
I get up, turn the TV off, and I go to bed. But I don't even go. I'd not even lose my rag anymore because it's kind of
Yeah.
This is
I can. It depends on the game. Like take Burnley for example. I got a little bit for a moment because I thought that's a game we could have won. And Spurs I did because it's Spurs. I hate losing.
Yeah. Minus Tottenham. That's the only one I kind of not got angry, but I was a little bit peed off. I was like,
but the others I just felt like kind of let down, deflated, and halves.
Yeah, I felt deflated, let down. I just like,
but expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't even get angry at them. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's the same.
And then we've got a few days to wait as well, and then we're not even hopeful for the next game. It's crazy, and
and I hate that feeling of not even being angry when we lose.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've kind of you've lost the will to even.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what though, the players. I'll tell you what though, the players aren't angry, so why should we be?
Exactly, and that's the thing. The players have I feel let down by the manager. I feel let down by the players because there was all this promise at the start of the season that things are going to change. We're going to be good, and I just think I'm not seeing it. I feel let down, deflated. That's why I don't get angry no more.
I feel cheated.
Yeah. It winds me up when I talk about certain things, but I don't get like tactics and things like that. But I don't get like angry to the point where I don't know. It's just I hate that feeling. Like even if we lost the game and we showed fight and passion, and then you could sort of get angry again and see like what they tried, but we lost. We're still angry we lost, but they tried to.
It goes back to the Europa League as well. We've done all that hard work to get to the Europa League final, and then it comes to the final, and we just capitulate within seconds.
Yeah, we disappeared.
That was ridiculous. How the hell? We were favourites to win it that year.
Yep.
And Chelsea weren't playing that great at the time as well. And then we get to the final and we just absolutely fall apart. I don't understand it. And no one was injured. We had no injuries.
I think that was the beginning of the end.
It was.
Yeah. That's when it all fell apart. And then we finished it where we did in the league, and it's downhill from there.
Down from there. Yeah.
I really, really do. Like I said, I didn't want Arteta from the start, but I really hope that he does turn it around because I do want him to succeed. Of course, I do. He's our manager at the moment. Whether we like it or not, whether we wanted him, we didn't want him, we still got to back him. He is our manager, but you can still question what he does. Why ain't certain players being picked?
Why are certain players being picked? Yeah.
But at the same time, I want him to turn it around because I want him to shut me up moaning every week.
Yeah.
I want him to turn it around, and I want him to prove me wrong. And if he could do that, if he could prove me wrong, and we finish, say, if we could go on a run and we end up finishing 6th, 7th, or 6th, and we win a trophy at the end of it, I'll be like, all right, take me out.
What I will say though is we can't keep using the FA Cup as a trophy. As much as I love the competition, and as much as we're fantastic to be 14 times winners of it now. And we can't use that as an alternative for Champions League football or titles. Yeah,
I would rather win a European trophy at the moment than any other trophy. Just to say that we've won. We haven't won a major European trophy, like major. All right, we won the Cup Winners' Cup and that back in the day, but they weren't really major.
That was the League Cup of Europe.
Yeah, they weren't really major trophies, were they?
There's only 2 in Europe.
Yeah, and we haven't won a major trophy, like a major European trophy, and to win the UEFA Cup, or it would be a good achievement. But if we win it and finish like 18th in the league, it will just paper over the cracks.
Oh, for sure.
So, we need to finish higher and try and win it, not finish where we are. I don't want to do bleeding Wigan and get relegated and win the FA Cup.
No, exactly. Yeah. We've seen it plenty of times, and
I don't want to be that team.
No.
But no, I think we're going to wrap it up. Actually, we've done a very long time. It has actually come to 2 hours now as well. So, once again, big thank you to Matt, the Southampton fan that joined us earlier. That was great to get a bit of insight into Southampton Football Club as well. And of course, as if Monday and today, big thank you to you two. I don't know whether we'll do another one before Christmas or whatever. I know we've got a few games, but
do one Monday. We could do one Monday if you want, Mike, after the.
Yeah, we could do it Monday.
Or-
Mondays
Yeah.
would work with me if you're about. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one Monday if you're all about.
Yeah, I'm around on Monday. Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have smiles on our faces and my beard would have gone.
You know what I might be able to do? I might be able to get an Everton fan as well, Limo. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll do Monday or Tuesday or whatever, whenever you're free.
Monday would be better for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. We'll do Monday then.
I'm still doing shows Tuesday, so I can't really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool with me, man. If you
So,
want to do one before Christmas.
Then Monday will be good. And then of course we've got the game just after Christmas as well. So.
Hang on, we've got the Carling Cup before Christmas as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
In midweek, against City, we got that on Wednesday as well.
Wednesday night, yeah. What we'll do is we'll do one Monday. Then we'll do because Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I'm busy. I've got I
won't be able to do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or Boxing Day.
No, same.
But yeah, I mean, we could do one Monday and then
after Christmas again,
we'll do one after Christmas or something.
Yeah, that's all good. So yeah, thank you for joining, and your platform has taken off now on social media, Ed, as well. So do you want to just give that a plug out again?
Yeah, so we're on Twitter and Instagram. It's at War Yellow. So we're the She Wore a Yellow Ribbon podcast.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to have a couple of live streams coming up very soon, and obviously they'll be on the socials. So yeah, obviously get following. And
what I think we might be able to do is we could possibly link the two channels as well. I don't know how you're doing, your streams and whatever, but we could put it's done through something like this. We could probably link my channel and your channel and just have them going across the two.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can chat about that and get something sorted.
Yeah, and then of course, Wayne, have you started your Football Manager games now?
Nah, probably. Well, I've started a couple, but I probably won't start streaming until after New Year because, like I said, I tried. That OBS is so complicated. I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just haven't got the patience to sit down for hours and try and figure out what I'm doing with it at the moment.
Somebody to do it for you.
I need someone to show me how to work it all properly.
Yeah.
So once I figured it all out and that, then probably won't start streaming anything till after New Year. I might even start, if I can, streaming New Year's Day.
Yeah, okay.
Do like a New Year's Day special or something.
Okay. And that's Young Wayne UK was your one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, right, we'll leave it there. Of course, I've got RS Media stuff that I'm involved with and SFC interviews as well. And Storm FM, which is the radio station, stormfm.org.uk, which I do shows on and that as well and sort of run that. So check all of those out. Check all of these guys' channels out as well. Thank you all for joining us. And let's hope that come Monday, we've got a win to talk about.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, fellas.